Hello, my beautiful light beings. Welcome back to the Magic Exists podcast with Dani Margeaux. For anyone on a personal development or spiritual awakening journey, moving from the 3D to 5D living. This is the last episode of season 1 of Magic Exists. I am just truly honored and so grateful for so many of you, for every one of you who has just taken the time to listen to this beautiful portal, this voice activating portal for myself, and all the amazing guests that have come on to be a part of and share their not only their time, their energy, but their wisdom. My point of this podcast was twofold when I first started it back in 2023. It was to activate my voice and be able to communicate and articulate what I was feeling internally into the external world in a way that made sense. And second was that I listened to podcasts during my spiritual awakening journey to understand concept terms and just like the workings of the universe. And I felt as though I had reached this like master level where I had something to give back and provide. And like my energy was important, is important, and can help someone on their journey. And I have had dozens of you reach out to me and just tell me you're binging my podcast or you just found it and you're like loving it and you're enjoying it. And I am just like so grateful. Pulling up my Buzzsprout info right now just so that I can share with you just the amount of love that I've received from all of you. So my total downloads are 2,489 downloads, roughly about 46-ish per week. Each episode receiving from like 20 to 100 listens or downloads, which is just like incredible. Like if you think about it, me filling a room for my birthday, like no way do I even get 20 to 100 people. That's a lie. I usually do have like 25 people on my birthday, but not 100 people. That's the little Leo in me. And in terms of locations, I have 49 cities total and 16 countries. So this is very much a global podcast, which I am so grateful for. I've had 45 episodes for season 1 over the last 2 years, and I am just so grateful and honored. I think the human experience is really beautiful and really amazing. I think the way to have your most full or enriched or nourishing, joyful life is to have a practice that embodies not just the physical, but also the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, and the energetic. And it really is encompassing the mind, body, and the spirit. And when you are able to align all of those energies and have practices daily that supports you and cultivates your fundamental soul frequency and anchors you into yourself, your heart, your soul's expression. I think that's really where you align to your highest timeline, to God consciousness, universe, source, and really are able to create the life of your dreams with ease and flow. And so this podcast that I've created has tools, steps, modalities, descriptions of all these little tools and resources for you to be able to use so that you can live that most aligned life that you want with fulfillment and joy and pleasure and happiness. And in 2022, December, I decided that I did not like who I was. I was already on a personal development journey of 2 years. And I realized there was a huge gap between who I was and who I wanted to be. And so I made a list of things that I didn't like about myself, and I made a list of things that I really did like about myself. And this was around the same time that I was doing free Akashic readings. So this was 2022, August. I first learned the Akashic Records and started giving free readings to really understand my cosmic soul language and understand it with clarity. And after those 50 sessions, I realized I did not know how to hold space for my clients. I had such deep empathy, but I didn't know how when someone was crying or when someone had maybe more questions about something. I didn't know how to coach them through the things I was seeing within the Akashic Records. Like, yes, there is this karma, but what do I do with it? There's this trauma that I'm feeling that keeps playing out through lifetimes, and I'm living it now in this loop. Like, what do I do? And so in 2023, when I took my second psychic course, as well as my coaching certification for a year, I learned how to reprogram the subconscious, which is now more mental, right? And how to clear the energy of the emotions, which is the emotional body. And I learned how to hold space. And I know now how to hold space when someone cries and when someone just feels so touched, or when someone I've learned how to hold space in general and created mastery within that. The tools that I've used, I've been able to just share on this beautiful podcast. And the era I'm currently in is the embodiment era of embodying now all of this wisdom and knowledge, and understanding that I don't need to consult with spirit guides anymore to get the wisdom or clarity. It's all within me now. I've anchored in that Akashic wisdom into my blueprint, my soul's blueprint. And my soul's blueprint is so crystal clear at this point that I'm able to just tune into my heart and know what I'm supposed to do and get clarity. And I think that is a level of mastery that is really powerful and sovereign when you are able to get to that place. But it's also trusting that, all in divine timing, that your life moves through things as they should, as your soul learns the experiences and moves through the soul contracts that you are meant to move through. And I just hired a business coach because I realized I don't want to do all this myself, and I have the freedom to do that. And it feels honestly so good to be held. And the last time I did this was 2023, when I booked that 11,000 coaching certification, where not only did I learn how to coach and be certified as a coach, but I was coached for a year. And that was just such a pivotal and profound experience. I'm devoted. I'm devoted AF. I am committed to the transformation because I've lived for 20 years outside without the peace and harmony and the overthinking mind, the burnout and the anxiety. And so I just want to share this because I just did that. I moved through things, right? The last 6 months, like every category of my life, right? Like leaving my job, getting married, moving, selling my condo, like literally every category of my life, right? I moved into and transitioned into. So I got a coach to move through that the last 3 months, which has helped me identify so many things. And the reason why season 2 is coming up is because of this, where I've learned that my healing sessions are healing and they are powerful, but also, how about just having fun is healing as well? And I started a book club out here in 2024 in the South Bay, and they are still going. I was gone for a year while I was planning my wedding, and I moved to Glendale. And so now that I'm back, I've rejoined, and they've added like 3 more amazing, beautiful souls. And what I realize is that's the energy I love. I love learning podcasts, books. Like, this is where I cultivate, vision for myself. I'm able to create a vision for myself. I'm able to see beyond what I've ever dreamed of. I'm able to create bigger visions and perspectives through like these books as portals. And so season 2 is going to be called Magic Exists and the books that proved it. And so this is going to be really fun. I'm just going to read the description that I've come up with so far, because this is like really exciting for me. And I feel like I do have a lot of listeners who always reach out to me for book recommendations because I am such an avid reader. It is March and I'm already on book 13 for the year. And it really fills my whole soul. So as an avid reader and an active mind's eye, books have always been my portal to expansion and escape from reality to dream of the limitless potentials of the universe. Now that I know through my own personal exploration as an Akashic Records master and teacher, I am a vessel for the cosmic wisdom, and the magic of the universe seems to never surprise me. Books like these that we will explore help me anchor and cultivate new beliefs, the beliefs I hold now about how the world really works and how magic and miracles are at the end of our fingertips. This podcast will help you see it for yourself. The books that are scheduled for this year already, they're going to be conversations about a specific book or theme. And we're going to talk about my favorite quotes, maybe some life lessons that I've experienced through it. And it's really just going to be like a friendly conversation with someone. And I've picked all people who are just colleagues or acquaintances or students or friends. And so if you are interested, if you have like a book you're like so passionate about and you want to be on the podcast, send me a DM or an email. But the first book that we are going to talk about is Brita by Paulo Coelho. And he is the author of The Alchemist, and I'm not a fan of The Alchemist. I know I've talked about this before, but Brita is my all-time favorite book. So I'm really excited to dive into that with my friend Catherine, who I met in Peru in 2023. Then Summer Romance by Annabelle Morgan. And I'm going to be discussing that with a previous Divine Remembering student, Morgan. So both of those will be in April. The other books are going to be Many Lives, Many Masters, Three Magic Words, Man's Search for Meaning, Three Waves of Volunteers, Journey of Souls, The Sophia Code, and a couple other ones. I think I wanted like The Four Agreements, The Power of Now. And each month there's going to be 2 books. So I just shared with you the spiritual books, but there's also going to be like fantasy and romance because I'm really into that. And I feel as though this embodiment era that I'm in is really about just doing what brings me joy and really doing what brings me, joy and pleasure and happiness. And my life just feels unlike, like if I were to look back 5 years to where I was so lost and confused and where I am now, it's just wild. It's wild. And coming back to like me hiring a business coach, I am looking to scale my business this year. And I had, 33 beautiful souls come in last year to be taught by me for Reiki and Akashic Records. And so I'm working with my business coach, Jenny Rebecca, now to really refine my copy, my energy, my offerings, and create like beautiful automations and foundations for the future to just have my energy be the most potent for my soul's fundamental soul frequency and expression. I think if I'm like trying to summarize like how to move through, if you are from, like, if this was me 2019 who hired a life coach and was like, I hate my job, I don't know what to do, like, what advice would I give her? I would say there's like a couple things. Hire someone. I was never able to expand my perspective without other people's support. Maybe you can, and I think that's beautiful, but I wanted a quantum leap. I was devoted to this work. And so by hiring a life coach and then coaches and teachers in the past, it has helped me get to where I am so quickly. I started with my first life coach in 2019. That was the beginning of like my personal development journey where I really decided to choose myself. In 2021, I started Reiki. 2022, I started the Akashic Records. 2023, I started coaching. I also started officially doing readings, paying, charging people for them. 2025, I started teaching Reiki and the Akashic Records, and now we're at 2026. And I think anyone can make that shift within a couple years. And I think a big like pressure about purpose, a lot of empaths, light workers, way showers, we want to change the world. We want to make the world a better place. And we're trying to like pull people and drag people's like corpses along with us, people who are resistant, who don't want to change. And that's not what a light worker is. That's not their responsibility. That's not our role. Our role is to be the lighthouse. Our role is to be the one who inspires and impacts and changes the world through inspiration. And so the only way through and the only way to make the impact and influence that you are looking for, whether it be just within your family or on a global scale, you are the portal. It's through you, your vessel itself. And so how can you nourish yourself fully? So if you want to take it from the first step is physical, what physical things need to change in your life? Like, do you eat healthy? Do you eat like natural, real foods? I'm not a nutritionist, but I eat intuitively. So, like, everyone's nutrition is going to be different in what you need, but I don't eat a lot. I don't like feeling full. And so I'll eat more smaller meals. That works for me. I know I need to eat straight away in the morning. So I eat protein. I eat an egg with some tomatoes, maybe some bread. Maybe I'll do like chilaquiles with some tortillas and chili. So it just like really depends on like what I'm feeling that day. And like, are you working out? Are you moving your body? Your body, like in caveman eras, right? We were walking all the time. Like, I even think about this when I go camping. Like, I have a tent, but then all day I'm like walking around. Like, that's the day, those are the days I get the most steps where I'm walking from the picnic table to the car to the tent. And we are not meant to like be inside as humans. And so if you are not treating and nourishing your physical body by eating what's right for you, working out or moving your body in a way that is moving energy through your body, and spending time outside grounding into the sun, nature within your body, whether you're actually walking outside or you have like an embodiment practice or grounding practice of like meditation, Akashic Records, clearing your chakras. I guess that's more energetic, but like, yeah, like really addressing the physical body. I will tell you, if you just start there, your life is going to change. Start with one category of your life. And if that's like too daunting, then start with the mental. Like, if you are an overthinker and you tend to be really driven by the mind space, then do some reprogramming. It's like, list all the limiting beliefs or the beliefs that you have that keep looping, because the only reason you are feeling anxious, or I'm sure there's more reasons, but one of the reasons you're feeling anxious is because you have caught on a narrative in your mind and you are looping it and thinking about it again and again and again. Your body is actually not programmed to be that way. You're supposed to experience and experience, whether it be hurtful or harmful or exciting. You're supposed to feel it and then release it in the present moment. So when you latch on to like a hurtful experience that might have happened and you create a narrative around it in your mind and you continue to loop it for days and weeks and months, then your body is reliving that hurtful experience and turning it into this like traumatic experience within your body. So you moving physically obviously is helping move that energy, but to work on the mental will help clear the loops that you are creating. It will help support your inner critic be more kind instead of judgmental, and it will create new beliefs that you are actually aligned with. So just like some limiting beliefs I had, right? Like, I'm not worthy of maybe creating my own business. Making money has to be hard. I need to work or produce something in order to be worthy. Like, there's so many, and this is a subconscious, right? So 95% of what you live out of. So like the thoughts, the behaviors, everything that you're speaking through is actually your subconscious. So like, if you don't address the mental, then you're not going to move forward. It's just simple as that. Hypnosis is always is really supportive too, and this is like a more gentle way to help if it's hard to kind of reprogram your subconscious like consciously and consistently. And it's hard. Like, it's in every moment when you see you're judging yourself, right? In that moment, you shift the energy into the aligned 5D frequency of full conviction, and you continue to do that until it's natural. It's not easy. It took me a year to like do so many things, and even in 2026 now, 3 years later, I'm still reprogramming some things. It's a lot easier, and I don't have mind chatter, but it takes time. And so hypnotherapy or any subconscious work is really powerful for that. And then work on the emotional body, right? So this kind of bleeds into like boundaries and energy work, so I'm just gonna like do that. But like any way to like help you understand how to process your emotions. So if like you're ever angry, frustrated, mad, like typically your energy you should be able to feel it and release it within 90 seconds. But if your nervous system is not regulated, you're in fight or flight all the time. You're going to these emotions of anger, like if someone hurts your feelings or says something that's really triggering, instead of like being able to sit and respond to it, you're going to like just kind of blow up, right? And so it's like, however you can regulate your nervous system, or you can do parts work, breath work, just taking more stillness, sound baths, like taking a spiritual practice, like having a non-negotiable spiritual practice in your life. Okay. Anyways, you all know this. You've been listening to my podcast forever. This year is just, I feel like it's really about bringing in, I feel like it's coming from the inner child, honestly. Like it's doing the inner child work through play, through nourishment, through excitement and following what brings you curiosity, taking the classes that you want to take, learning the new modalities or dance or professions or switching careers or leaving your job. They're like, this is what your inner child wants. And it's wild because I tuned into my heart today. My inner child was so nourished and she was just so excited and happy. And it's just like wild to be in this space. So I'm really excited. I have a couple things coming in April that I just like wanted to quickly share about. This is going to be a quick final goodbye and wrap up for season 1, but I do have my divine remembering containers in July to learn the Akashic Records, connect to your guides, yourself, and God consciousness in a deeper way so you can just be crystal clear on every action and decision you make in your life, and and trust that what the next goal for you is according to your highest timeline. I do still have readings, beautiful Akashic readings, Reiki healings, virtually and in person. And I want to do something with the beach again. We'll see. Not necessarily in April, but I am doing an in-person magic market at Heritage Square in Los Angeles. It's like a little north of downtown LA, and there's 75 vendors where some people are also doing like tarot and oracle. I'm the only one doing Akashic Records, but other people are selling clothes, crystals, sage, like other things. There's a free sound bath. You can check out the historic buildings or like vintage Victorian houses. There's music, live music, as well as like taco trucks. So if you are interested in that, that is April 18 and 19. And you will be able to meet me in person and see me in person. So if you have any interest in that and you're in the Los Angeles area, go ahead and do that. And if anyone is just truly enjoying this podcast, like maybe leave me a 5-star review or write a comment. It helps just support me navigate like where this should be going. And if there's any book recommendations that you are really wanting to hear discussed, like send me a DM. I am like so open right now and spacious. So definitely like slide into my DMs, my email. I'm super excited for that. I did just start a blog on my website, and I'm going to be starting to write things in written form, not using AI. I really want to develop my voice in a different format, in a written format, and it's been kind of exciting. I did it this weekend. The download came through and I channeled like the first post, and it's about just like how I healed my body from severe chronic pain to living a life of freedom. And back end stuff, I know I've talked about this before. It's like I dread it so much, especially website stuff, but I was able to integrate it onto my main page header and like I'll have it all ready within like a couple hours. So just know, like, anything that you're overwhelmed to start right now or you have a block or resistance around, it will get easier the more you do it. You just have to practice. And like in terms of resistance or blocks, like if you are feeling it, like just take spaciousness to like sit in that energy and like breathe into the resistance. And how to dissipate it is to like breathe under the resistance until you're so deep under it that it integrates or releases. And then you'll learn, you reprogram yourself that like no matter if it's hard or no matter if you have resistance, you keep going for it anyways. And it's like it's a really powerful practice. Another thing, like just I'm going to reiterate this, like slowing down is going to help you move forward quicker. 100%. Like your mind, if you're like overthinking or you're doing things like your day's fully booked out how mine used to be, there's going to be no room for those downloads to drop in if you're like wanting intuitive messages or clarity about something. So take those moments to literally allow your body to rest and allow your downloads to come through so that you can be, more connected to yourself and the universe. All right. So I am really excited for season 2. Something I forgot that I want to mention is that every month I'm also going to do a monthly Akashic forecast. So the episodes will look like every month there will be an Akashic forecast of the month, as well as a spiritual book discussion with a friend and a either rom-com or fantasy book discussion. And so I think it's going to be really fun. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. And I am so grateful for every single one of you. And I will see you next month for season 2 of Magic Exists and the Books That Proved It.